Good morning, everybody. This is Pastor Jeremy, and I'm posting this video because I'm interested in your input on some things. In light of how things are sort of going right now with COVID-19, the difficulty in trying to figure out how to do ministry well right now when we're struggling with having to wear masks, when we're struggling with social distancing, and not being able to do the things that we normally do for ministry. And because we have this great tool, our Facebook page, and we have something like 700 people who are connected into that. One of the ways that I would like to be able to approach ministry is by putting some things out on Facebook that's going to be helpful. We have a number of people who still aren't able, for a variety of different reasons, to come to our on-site services yet. We've got people who are doing their best to try to protect themselves and to protect others by not coming out or not going out to different places, which is great. But figuring out how to navigate this difficult time and to be able to do ministry well when face-to-face is difficult is a challenge. And so I've got some thoughts and ideas, but because I don't know you as a congregation very well, I wanted to throw some things out there and see what makes sense for you guys. What are the things that you will plug into? What are the ways that you learn best? And so I want to throw out some ideas, and what I would love for you to do is to comment in the video below with your suggestions, whether or not the suggestions that I make in the video are helpful. And if there are any topics that you would like to see addressed with these particular ways of reaching out. So for instance, if you're interested in a particular book of the Bible that you would like to study, or if you have a theological question that you would like to see addressed in some way, make sure that you comment on that. So what I would like to do now is extend a few different ideas, and then again ask that you comment in the comment section as to whether or not you think these ideas make some sense or don't make sense. Some of you may have had the chance this morning to check out a picture with a Bible verse and a short little quote along with a short little thought. If things like that are helpful for you, a short little devotional going along with a Bible verse and picture, we can certainly do that. If you found that helpful or would find that helpful on a regular or even daily basis, let me know. That's easy enough to accomplish or do. I have in the past spent a lot of time doing blog posts. I have my own blog. If you're into reading blog posts, doing a blog might be a way to move forward. It might be helpful. Let me know if you're blog readers. We can certainly incorporate that into the equation as well. One of the things that I have been thinking a lot about and wondering about doing is doing a podcast. I'm not sure what form that podcast might take, but if you are a podcast listener, if you learn well through listening to podcasts, that might be an avenue that we take in the future to be able to explore again some theological topics, maybe get some testimonies from people in the community or in the church, perhaps interview folks who have invested a ton in the church, or interview folks who have invested in the area, in the communities of Kittanning, Fort City, Freeport, all those kinds of things. One of the ideas that I'm also really intrigued about is the possibility of doing an online prayer room. This would be something that we could do at any point in time. We could use things like Zoom, like Facebook, to gather together in groups and lift each other up in prayer, lift the church up in prayer, lift the community up in prayer. Again, there's a bunch of different ways that we might be able to navigate that. But if you're interested and believe in the value and power of coming together in prayer, an online prayer room might be a good way to be able to help supplement not being able to gather together face to face and pray. I'm also intrigued by the idea of doing some online Bible studies. Again, we could use Facebook chat, we could use Zoom, we could use Skype. Gmail has a similar kind of thing that would be helpful. If you're interested in doing an online Bible study, again, you might have a particular book or theological or doctrinal thing that you would like to study. I'm open to all those different kinds of things. So if an online Bible study would be something that you are open to, again, that could be something that could meet pretty much any time. And after we finish, it could be something that we put perhaps onto our Facebook page. We could archive it perhaps on the website so that those Bible studies would be available for folks if they couldn't make the session. When it meets, they could potentially still plug in and connect to it. So again, if you're interested in perhaps an online Bible study, that's something that we could also do together. And lastly, one of the other things that I've been contemplating is doing a 10 to 12 minute weekly video sort of cross between devotional and teaching. I've actually been contemplating moving through the book of Mark. I love the Gospel of Mark. I've got a lot of content that I've used in the past in writing. I taught a course at Biblical Life Institute on the Gospel of Mark. And so that's a book that holds a special place in my heart, and have been thinking about posting a weekly, again, 10 to 12 minute teaching on that. If that's something that you think would be helpful, again, post that down in the comments. Doesn't have to be Mark. It's just an idea that I have and a particular passion that I have. But I would be more than happy to find a way to be able to do that as well. And so those are just some of the ideas that I have right now. If you have other thoughts, if you have other ideas, other things that you would like to see happen as we're trying to navigate, again, this really difficult time. I know face-to-face ministry, I know face-to-face relationship building is certainly the way that we would all prefer to be doing ministry. I know that's how I would prefer to be doing ministry. Ministry happens best in the context of personal relationship, of being together, of sharing space and time together. But unfortunately, the way things are, it's difficult and it's a challenge. And so we have to look to some alternative ways to be able to minister to one another. And so that's the impetus behind this pitch. That's why I'm making some of these suggestions. Again, if you have some other suggestions, please take some time and comment. One other thing, I will be in different places in the community. I'll try to do my best to announce ahead of time that I will be hanging out in places. So for instance, yesterday, I hung out down in a coffee shop for a couple of hours while I did some sermon writing. When I post those things, it's an open invitation to come and spend some time and hang out and get to know me. So please make sure that you are aware. Don't worry about interrupting me. Don't worry about whether or not you're invited. I'm extending the personal invitation to you right now. If I post that I'm going to be someplace on the Facebook page, I would love for you, if you're available, to come and hang out with me. So with all those things being said, again, please take some time to think through these thoughts, these ideas. If you have ideas about how we can do ministry together, I'd love to hear them. But we need to figure this out, and we need to figure out how to stay connected as best as possible. I want you to know that I'm praying for you guys. I'm excited to get to know you all, and I'm excited about where God has called me to do ministry here in Kittanning and with the Kittanning Free Methodist Church. So blessings to you all, and also stay tuned. Hopefully I'll be posting a video shortly about a little bit about myself and some ways to get to know me. So do your best to stay cool. Blessings to you, and we'll talk to you soon.